Hi Group 1, welcome to this tarot reading. This is going to be a quickie. If you're here, it means you are sent by Spirit. Something important is coming up for you the next week. What I meant by 1 week is your next 7 days. Okay, these are your cards. First of all, look at the tarot. 3 cards for today. We can always take more if we want. What do we have? We have the 8 of Cups, Judgment, and the 4 of Wands. Okay, what I see for you is like Judgment, not in this deck. By the way, if you're interested in this deck, I don't know if there is an English version of it. This is a Slavic deck, and right now I'm vibing with my Slavic vibing with vibes. This is what I wanted to say. That makes no sense. Okay, usually in the Justice, not here, but we see weights, so having to choose something. And this is interesting that we have this card in the middle, kind of like having to choose between the 8 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. So that would be sadness, happiness, it's coming to my mind. This is basically walking away from something, having to leave something behind, while the other thing is choosing fun. The 4 of Wands is all about events, celebration. Yeah, basically good time spent with family, friends, and so on. So this can be coming up as a choice, maybe as an internal issue, let's call it, quote unquote. Not an issue, but something to be resolved internally. As you can see, what is interesting about the Judgment is that you have a little bit of the sun and like moon or day and night energy. Here it's the eclipse, I would say. It's like a night within a day. Here it's only day, but here are mostly like darker colors. So actually this Judgment is not giving you any advice on what to choose when it comes to this situation. It can also be that it's not your choice, it's someone else's, or it can just be that your approach with these two different energies and you need to find equilibrium between them. I feel like it can talk about literally anything about your work life, family life. So fit the situation to your own, fit the cards to your situation. But yeah, mostly what I feel is like a righteous choice has to be made between these two. So since Judgment is about being righteous and telling the truth, that may also happen that you encountered this situation of having to leave something behind, having to walk away, and you have to tell the truth to someone. By the way, I didn't show you a crystal gray. You have to tell someone within the energy of the 4 of Wands, like on an event, within some fun circle. You have to tell them about this situation, or it's the opposite. Maybe you go to an event and you have to present to someone the truth about the 8 of Cups here. So about a situation like coming to a closure, to an end. Let's ask for 1 or 2 cards for you to see like if you can get any advice on this choice. Like what could you do to make it work out for you? We have 1, we have 2, we have 3. I don't know why I took 3. So we have 21, the World. And I will put it here, so it's next to the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups is usually about, like I already said 1,000 times, sorry by the way for repeating myself and sounding like a broken record, it's about walking away. So the World is about closures, it's about things coming to fruition, to the full circle. Usually we see like a wreath that is circular. On this card here we see the 4 stages of the year. We have the 7 of Wands and the King of Wands. Okay. So they are like corresponding. So how can you know you made a righteous choice? You definitely have to make it for yourself. You have to keep your beliefs in mind. The 7 of Wands is all about protecting your own position, but I don't mean like a position in a sense like at a workplace. It's like protecting your ideology, what you believe in, and letting everything else fall away, and that way you will know which way to go. The King of Wands is extremely confident. He's a great leader, and you are asked to lead yourself into the correct choice for yourself. And now let's look at this card. We have 21 for you. Enjoy the journey. I'm going to put these like here. 21, enjoy the journey. Stay present and flexible. Many changes are going on for you and around you. These changes are not only good, but necessary. I feel like that could be connected to the 8 of Wands. If any of you have to, like, you're in your next 7 days, you decide that a project is not really bringing you fun anymore. It's not really making you happy anymore, or your path that you chose for yourself, do not become stagnant. The world is calling you that if anything ends, then the new thing will begin, and it will bring beautiful things to your life. Be confident about where you are standing. So it says these changes are not only good, but they are necessary. So they will only bring you to a greater place. Bring your awareness into the now rather than focusing on the past or the future. So if you are if you have to make a choice within the next 7 days, you are being asked not to make it based on your fears about the future, but also do not making based on what happened to you in the past. Only an example, if bad things used to happen to you with a relationship in the past, then do not think that if you approach a similar situation, you're going to be treated as you were in the past. It's like, have a fresh mindset about it and enjoy where you're going. You have to align your emotions to these choices and be honest either with yourself or with someone else. Judgment is like being truthful to anyone. Sorry, it's not judgment. Why am I saying judgment? It's justice. You have to do justice basically to others and to yourself. All right, pile number 1, best of luck to you. And we will see each other in the next one. Bye. Hey group 2, good to see you in your reading. If you chose the fluorite, this is for you. And if you're here, it means you were sent here somehow. There is an important thing coming up for you within the next 7 days. So let's look at that thing. We already have shuffled your cards. We have for you the 3 of Swords, the 5 of Wands, and Strength. Okay, I need to be honest with you, group 2. There is some chaotic energy, and there may be some quarreling and not really understanding other people, or other people not really understanding where you are coming from. And this may cause you... you see this card, this is a new deck for me, and I am very grateful for it. It's beautiful. By the way, it's not in English, as you can see, because it is a Slavic deck, so I'm here with my Slavic vibes showing off. But usually in the 5 of Wands, you see people fighting and being, you can see on their faces that they are mean to each other, and they have a bad attitude. I was sorry for the cut. I was looking for the word attitude. But here on this deck, you can see on their faces, they are the birds. Usually when you see birds on the cards that are flying away, maybe there was some conflict, but these birds stay in the middle. So they are not, put off by this conflict. And you can see on their faces that it's like friendly competition. So this may happen in your life, that anything concerning other people will happen where you will feel like there is a competition, but while there is really not. Spirit is giving this message that whether it is a big fight or only one that you're making with your mind, it may be the case that you are making it more, you're making it seem more than it actually is. Of course, it's not your fault, but there are still some heart wounds in you that you need to heal. I don't necessarily feel like you're being called to ask the healing process now, in the next 7 days, but be warned of any triggers that may happen to you in the next 7 days. And if you see any qualities in other people that you do not like, think about them, meditate on them. Is there a possibility that you have repressed these qualities in yourself? Maybe you don't like them in other people because either you want these qualities or you also have them and you don't like them in yourself. There is something wounding your heart, and making you, you can see on this figure, a little bit miserable. It's not like, I'm not saying your next 7 days are miserable. They're not. It may just happen that there will be a trigger. And in these moments, you are being called to pay attention, but also to have strength and know that this is taking you only towards healing, towards integration, so that you can become more full. Even like you are full. You're not empty right now, but you can, get the puzzles of your soul and piece them up together and become the beautiful being that you are meant to be. So I feel like this may be coming up for you. Yeah. Let's look at these cards. You got more than pile number 1. You got 2. It says breakthrough new dimensions in unexplained wonder. Okay. So breakthrough to new dimensions. A new endeavor is on the horizon. Innovative energy wants to burst forth into your consciousness. So this may talk about either a breakthrough, because you have it lying next to the 3 of Swords, and the swords are very mental. There can happen a breakthrough within your mind, like you will know a solution to this conflict, and you will break through to new dimensions just with how you think about that particular issue, or about this repeating cycle. If you notice that it may have happened in your life before and it is indeed repeating. If not, for others of you, it may mean that this is something new. This is maybe not connected to the tarot. Okay, this situation will happen, but then the oracle cards show us a new situation and there is an endeavor. It may be connected. So like from this fight or from looking at the qualities of other people, you may notice something that you want to start implementing into your own life. Maybe you understand a quality that you've been yearning for. Therefore, you will start something new, or it may be completely not unrelated, and you will just find something that sparks your motivation and inspiration. This will be a new thing that you will want to do, a new journey to embark on. So something new, very beautiful. And then you have unexplained wonder. Magical blessings and miracles are occurring in your life. All your prayers are answered now. Okay. Wow. So all your prayers are answered. This may mean a lot of things. Like, I am surprised because this seems like a very, very powerful card, especially that it has the 44. So you have a master number on it. This may mean like connection to spirit. Usually 44 is a number not only of like stability and groundedness, home, but this is also a number that shows you that spirit is with you. This is the strength. Maybe you are being helped by, you can see the birds, fish, whales. Maybe you're being helped by different animals or the energy of animals. You meet a spirit guide if you believe in these things, of course. But it may mean that literal miracles and blessings are happening around you to others. If you notice anything that like an unexplainable situation happening to a friend of yours or to you, know that this is the doing of some higher forces in life and your prayers are answered. This is both good and bad. And what I mean by it, that if you ask for the strength, if you feel like the wounds in your heart are opening and you need some like a piece of advice, remember that within the next 7 days, spirit is really present with you, okay? But for me, and you don't have to agree, but for me, prayers are not only the religious prayers like the, oh God, and like these sorts of things, especially that I was raised up Christian. In Christianity, you have the prayers that you learn by heart. You don't even choose your own words like they do in Japan, for example. So for me, it means, because I never finished the story, I don't like the way Christianity teaches us that you can only pray by these words. I like my own. For me, prayer is just talking to spirit. It's basically manifesting with thoughts, maybe a little bit consciously because you're speaking to a divine being, but not always. Where I am getting with this, having the possibility to be a little bit more negative, it's like your thoughts will be very powerful within the next 7 days. So you need to pay attention and stay present. Okay, so this is what I am seeing for you, and good luck on the next 7 days. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is Artful today, and see you in the next videos. Bye. Hey group 3, and welcome to your reading. This is for all of you that chose the amethyst crystal. Let's look at that. If you're here, by the way, then something has sent you here because an important thing is happening within the next 7 days for you. You have Temperance, the 8 of Wands, interesting, and the 3 of Wands. Okay, by the way, these are not in English because this is a new deck for me. It's a Slavic deck. Okay, so I'm here being proud of my Slavic roots. Anyways, wow. You can see the correspondence of colors. Give me a second because I need to feel your cards. Because what I would normally say when seeing 2 times wands out of 3 cards, wands are growth, wands are expansion, wands are moving forward, especially the 3 of wands. This is all about expansion, all about life being a blank canvas and you being able to choose anything that you paint on that blank canvas. While the 8 of wands is about alignment, fast movement, acting now, very masculine energy coming from this card. But then we come with the Temperance. And the Temperance, as you might probably know intuitively, is all about balancing things out. Because this card is not in the middle, so it's not like this, it's not being sandwiched by the 8 of wands and the 3 of wands. I actually feel like it's not trying to balance these energies. I would say that first, something else in your life needs to be balanced because in the next 7 days, you're being asked to move. But for the 8 of wands to work, okay, Spirit is giving me so many messages that I am barely keeping up. The 8 of wands, in the original tarot, you see 8 wands being symmetrical in alignment. This is why this card can symbolize alignment and moving with direction. So it's beautiful that you're moving to the 3 of wands. I'm sorry for being a little bit all over the place, but you have a lot of very fiery energy going forth. And then what was I saying? Oh my God, I don't remember. So you are acting on the invisible creations of yours, invisible because they are still in your mind, but you're already taking steps to implement them. But with the many messages, the 8 of wands can sometimes be, especially if it's like this in reverse, it can be about ending procrastination, having to do things now. So when we procrastinate, when we leave things for the next day, the next month or whatever, it means that there is something going not so right within ourselves because we're not looking at something. And Temperance is all about balancing these energies. And what I just read in the book, it's a book by Florence Scovel Shinn, A Game of Life and How to Play It. When your external surroundings, like your home, your affairs are not in order, in divine order as she puts it, then it can manifest in your body, can manifest in your mind. And the opposite is also true. If you have an imbalanced situation within your mind or within your body, it can manifest externally. So you're being called to do things with temper. Okay, do not eat too much, but also do not sleep too much. But at the same time, you're being asked to sleep enough, because especially sleep, eating, taking your vitamins if you do, drinking enough water, especially you see the water here, because you're going to be needing a lot of energy for the action. Now, I don't necessarily feel is it mental action? It can be actual action in the 3D. Just remember not to push. I know I'm being a little bit contradicting, and you can watch and be like, okay, bitch, so what am I supposed to do? So if you know anything about manifestation, this is a thing called inspired action. If you feel the motivation, inspiration to do something, this is a definite yes for you. But because you will be required to put in a lot of energy, you need to be balanced internally and outside. If you have dishes laying around your house or clothes that still need to be ironed, you haven't slept enough, you're overworking yourself, this is not going to work, okay? This is why this card is the first one. First, you need to rebalance yourself again, internally, externally. It doesn't have to be like doing the big cleaning of the whole house, but keep things, and I truly mean it, it's not some woo-woo crap or some feng shui that you don't believe in. If some of you don't, this is actually true. If your house will be a mess, if your surroundings, friendships, messages, emails will be a mess, this can go into your mind, into your spirit, into how you feel. So please rebalance all these areas so that you can then move beautifully. And I love that we end on the Three of Wands. That means that within the next 7 days, it's like you're going to be initiated to do the things that you truly love. You're embarking on something, like you're just going somewhere, okay? If some of you even want to take a trip, both of these cards, the Eight of Wands and the Three of Wands, can talk about trips, about journeys, about going somewhere abroad or not within your country, doesn't matter, but it can be about like holidays. So that may be coming up for some of you, but like you cannot leave on your holiday if you still have dishes laying around the house. You know what I mean? The dishes are only a metaphor, of course. And why I love that we end with the Three of Wands is because they are looking towards maybe a land, maybe a family, maybe a ship, maybe an ocean. You don't know. This is like left up to your interpretation, but there is a dream. And we end up with this dream. It's like taking the first step and then you're being initiated into something beautiful. So the next 7 days, it's like it's a breakthrough towards a new dimension for you. And this is, wow. I am super stoked and happy for you all. You have a very, very positive reading. Okay. Then we have these two cards for you. 43 and 3. You see, this is a 3. 43 and 3 again. This may be a number that you will encounter in your life, and then like it may be a sign for you that you are on the right path. So keep that in mind and be aware of the synchronicities with the numbers. Okay, setting up parameters. Assess your relationships, of course, and determine how they are aligned with your goals. Exactly. Setting boundaries requires an honest evaluation of your present relationships. So because these two cards, the Temperance and the setting up parameters, are touching each other, it may mean that the imbalance is happening somewhere within the realm of relationships. So before you take any step, any movement, it says exactly alignment, what I told you. You need to be aligned. If there is a person, like I'm saying that from my own experience, I sometimes tend to not respond to people for a long time. That's because I take care of myself for a long time. So it's not necessarily bad, but then I forget and then I procrastinate on it. And this is the bad part. So if you have any messages that you haven't responded to, any emails, any family events, or anything within your work group, anything within the colleague circle, you will know what that will be. Close everything up so that you can move on. Okay, and setting boundaries. If you need to right now do your things and how do you say that? Put all your attention and care and time towards and onto your projects, do it. Like, this is not a time for others, this is a time for you. This can be a time for others only if you want it and if you decide it. And if you just don't know how to say no, it will not work these next 7 days, okay? And then you have in the light of the moon. A full moon can shine light on what you have been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. So if for any of you, because this is a timeless reading, you can watch it like 10 years after I have uploaded. If you see this and then the full moon is within the next 7 days, this is like extra confirmation for you that this will happen. But whether the full moon will happen or not, this is just like even if it's not within the next 7 days. Pay attention to the next full moon, no matter if it's like in 3 weeks. Pay attention to that, because some emotions can be stirred up. But yeah, so okay, because I'm blabbing right now. This card, it's a bit more stretched in the timeline than just 7 days. However, within the next week, again, you need to face what you have been resisting to put it in balance, because if you resist, it's like you have to look at it as a pendulum. The pendulum wants to be in equilibrium. The forces of nature want to be in equilibrium. If you resist, then you stretch the pendulum in one direction. So other areas of your life, sorry for touching the microphone, by the way, other areas of your life will be imbalanced because of that too. Let's say you are resisting your work. Not only your work will be then in imbalance because you are resisting that, then the forces will come somewhere else in your life too. So you need to face anything that has been a challenge. I know it's not easy, but believe me, it is worth it, because then you're moving on to some beautiful energy with these two cards. So because you also chose the amethyst, this is a crystal of intuition. Trust yourself. It's like the Temperance doesn't call you to do all at once. It's not like you have to have your life fixed within the next 7 days. It's just, if anything comes up to your mind after this reading within the next days, or during this reading you got some intuitive messages, trust them. Trust them, because your intuition is strong with the amethyst, okay? So I wish you all the best on this, and if you ever want to hear me again, you can come to the next videos. For today, that's all. So see you and bye-bye. Hey, beautiful group 4, and welcome to your tarot reading. This is the crystal that you'll have chosen, and it's good that you're here. Something has definitely sent you here, because an important thing is coming up for you within the next 7 days. So let's look at what we have. We have for you the Wheel of Fortune, Death, and then the Chariot. Okay, group 4, I don't know if you watched my video. Like, this is timeless. You can be watching it literally 10 years after I posted this video that you're watching now. But I put a video also, like an important message coming, an important message for you. And I'm going to put it somewhere here on the screen so that you can see. And not because I'm trying to advertise myself, but because there was Death in the Chariot next to it, at like same thing. So maybe you want to watch it too, because very similar energy just by looking at the cards. But what do we have for you? We have 3 major arcanas. Girls and boys, what are you going to be doing the next 7 days? Are you like buying a space rocket ship? What the heck? Okay. Death, Wheel of Fortune, Chariot, my lord. And this energy is giant, okay? This energy is extremely giant. I don't know if you've been like building energy up until this moment, but within the next 7 days, by looking at Death, there is transformation going on. And this is not transformation like with minor arcanas. This is big. This is like the transformation of the self. The Chariot is all about the path that you're on, where you are going, how you're moving there. So literally you can change where you're going. You can change your path to something more aligned with you. And this can happen, I feel like, with the Wheel of Fortune, because of something that life will give you within the next 7 days. Now, you see 2 parts of this card. It can be both negative and positive, and you give it meaning. Only you will know. But something can happen to you within like the external, or also within the internal. Something very unexpected. A surprise that you didn't know was coming. It can shake you, like, not in a negative meaning. It can just like waken you up. It can give you this moment where you will think, and something is changing. It may also be for some of you that you feel like your transformation has been ongoing. It already started a few weeks or months ago. This is the culmination period. This is the period that you're going to decide that you are are willing to trust in life, and you're willing to accept the unknown, because the Wheel of Fortune is something upcoming, but you don't know what it is. You cannot know if that's $1 million or the loss of your home. And I'm not saying that you're going to lose your home, just please keep that in mind. It can just be anything that awakens you. But ultimately, because we are ending on the Chariot, I feel like you're going to be fast forwarded into like your dream reality. The Chariot is all about control. And you see like a black and white horses because it can also represent you and your shadow self. This is integrating in one and going on this one path, being full and integrated. So literally, like, it may be that the culmination is here, the peak, and you're changing either your beliefs, your clothing style, the music that you listen to. And this will happen very unexpectedly. Your job can change, your house can change, your partner. Wow. Okay, let's look at these cards so that we have some more knowledge about that situation, because again, this is big. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but I haven't seen that kind of energy in a long time. I saw these two cards in that reading that I mentioned to you, but next to it there was the minor arcana, because it was with the Knight of Swords. And yours is with 3 major arcanas out of 3 cards. Wow. Okay, you see that? This is literally, So you have a card replacing what was lost. You now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew, create a new perspective or outlook. This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. I love it for you. So the death, okay, if we don't look at it as transformation, it can also be the death of something, the ending of something. Maybe you're gonna decide within the next 7 days that you don't want to work at your current workplace anymore. You don't want to study what you're studying, whatever, Something may be indeed coming to a closure, and therefore you are starting a new adventure. This is, wow. You are literally a blank canvas, a clean slate. You can become right now anyone or anything that you want to be and do. Create with a new perspective or outlook. This reminds me, like, a few weeks ago I was on Pinterest, which I normally don't do because it's a waste of life. So yeah, the phone. But I decided to go on Pinterest because I was changing also. Like, I'm still in the process of changing my identity. I cut my hair from until my shoulders, the length. And now it's very, very short. Like, I'm not bald, but I could be. Like, it's very short. Instead of wearing black clothes, but that happened about 1 year ago. It's a slow transition. I'm only wearing white or colorful stuff. There's a big change of self. So I was on Pinterest looking at new clothing styles for myself to know what I like and what I dislike, what is not my style anymore. And your reading reminds me of that. It's like, you can go on the internet, you can take inspiration from other people, and keep that in mind. Who you want to be, what you want to do, how you want to dress, how you want to address other people, how you yourself want to be addressed, how you want to speak, what words you want to use, what you want to eat. Maybe you want to change your diet to a more healthy one, And if you can, and if you want, of course, if you have the luxury of the time to dedicate for it, and I think it's important, if you do, then please do not skip that step. If it interests you, create a list. It can be in your mind, it can be on a piece of paper. Create a list of things that you like right now, that you would like to embody in your personality. Because if you have a clear vision, the universe has more to work with. Because if you yourself do not know who you want to be, you will manifest that energy of not knowingness, of that vagueness, if you know what I mean. So you will experience everything at once. If you stay clearly like I am, now what's coming to my mind is that I don't want you, a beautiful, being, to close yourself in a box. So it's not like you will one day just say, okay, I am I don't know, the only thing that's coming to my mind is like, I don't know, let's say I'm vegetarian right now, and that's your whole identity for the rest of your life. It can change, of course. So if you decide from tomorrow, I am now a painter, it doesn't have to be for always, but it's just giving your own subconscious a little bit more structure and foundation, and giving the universe more to work with. So literally, you can become anyone in that period. And dude, we are only talking about 7 days. Like, I don't know how you got to this kind of energy within the 7 days, but you are either super powerful and you are like instant manifestors and you can change on a whim, or it's been building up for you. And then we have for you keeping it in check. Pay attention to what is going on around you. You might be moving into something too quickly or missing some important details. Okay, so this is like, how do you say that? A warning, not a warning. I don't want to use the word warning because it has negative connotations, but just a reminder from the energy. Like, this is why the card dropped out. Fell out, actually, I should have said. It's not a process to be rushed. I told you that the peak can happen within the next 7 days, but usually the transformation of self, or the transformation of our profession, our interests, our clothing style, diet, and so on, it's not like, it doesn't happen from one day to the next. Even like changing diet sounds like something you can do from one day to the next, but the body has to endure it. The body has to become acquainted with the new whatever you're gonna be eating, So do not rush this process. And you might be missing, what does it say? You might be missing some important details. I think it really goes hand in hand with the list that I was talking about. Think about who you want to be. And if that happens for you that you still don't know, because I know that I experienced it, I said, I don't know who I want to be. And I cried. I had a mental breakdown because of it. Like, you don't have to have it all figured out right now. It's just a piece of advice to keep it in mind. But I don't want to scare you. Like, if you do not have a box that you fit into within the next 7 days, it's like your life is going to be miserable because you're going to manifest chaos. No, of course not. It's just within all this transition period, it would be good if you did it. But only if that makes you feel good. Like, if what I'm talking to you is like, if you don't care about it, you're like, no, I know it won't work for me, then you know better. You don't do it. Like, the ultimate thing is that you're happy. So yeah, but you're like, pay attention to what is going on around you. It may happen that like you experience things, or you meet people that either like trigger you, or maybe they inspire you. Whatever that will be, this can help you figure out where you want to move exactly. So take inspiration from people, from the world, from patterns, colors, animals, energy, smells. Take in everything, because it's going to help you on your path. I know that sounds a bit woo-woo, but yeah, we need to get woo-woo sometimes, okay? So, Group 4, thank you so very much for tuning in. This is all for today, and see you in the next videos. Best of luck, like within this week and all your next weeks within your life, okay? So bye for now. Thank you.